There comes a time in life when your peace outweighs your pride, your quiet speaks louder than any explanation, and your distance heals more than any argument ever could. Don't react. Step away silently, not from anger, but from self-respect. When people reveal themselves through betrayal, disrespect, or manipulation, your response doesn't need to be loud, dramatic, or emotional. True strength is calm. It's walking away with dignity, choosing your own well-being over chaos, and refusing to engage in anything that disrupts your inner calm. Silence is not weakness, it's strategy. It marks the moment you stop seeking validation, understanding, or approval. This is your awakening, learning to choose yourself unapologetically. The real glow up isn't proving them wrong. It's never looking back. Now, pay close attention as I share 7 truths that can transform your mindset. Let every word sink in. Number 1, silence is the ultimate self-control. There's a divine power in quiet that few truly grasp, because our world often mistakes loudness for strength. Speaking out, even in anger, is seen as defending your worth. But real power lies not in what you say, but in what you choose to withhold. Silence reflects mastery over yourself and acts as your most effective shield against chaos. When someone disrespects, betrays, lies, or provokes you, your instinct is to fight, argue, or seek justice. But reacting gives your power away to the very person who tried to shake it. True strength doesn't shout, chase, or demand to be understood by those intent on misunderstanding. Power walks away quietly, gracefully, and with unwavering calm. Silence signals that you are no longer a target for manipulation. It shows you've chosen long-term peace over momentary validation. It's a sign your maturity has outgrown your ego's need to react. Anyone can yell, retaliate, or get pulled into drama, but pausing, observing, breathing, and choosing not to engage, that's power. Self-respect shines through silence. It's not about hiding your truth, it's about picking your battles wisely. Knowing when to speak and when to conserve energy. Not every insult needs a response. Not every door that closes deserves another knock. Silence in the face of provocation disarms the storm around you and communicates more than words ever could. Your peace is non-negotiable. Silence forces others to confront themselves in ways words cannot. It removes their attention-seeking power and gives you the space to heal, find clarity, and detox emotionally. In quiet, you reconnect with your inner voice, buried beneath noise, opinions, and stress. From this grounded place, you don't need to prove anything. You become stronger, wiser, and more focused. Take a moment to feel that. When you're truly at peace, when you fully know your worth and what you deserve, what can words really add? Nothing. So you choose stillness. You choose silence. You choose sovereignty. You allow others to misjudge, misunderstand, or mislabel you, and still, you remain unshaken because your peace is priceless. Your dignity outweighs their drama. Your future matters more than staying tangled in energy that pulls you backward. Silence becomes your sanctuary. It's the way you leave situations without leaving fragments of yourself behind. It's the sword that cuts through illusion, ego, and false attachment. And most beautifully, it's the canvas where your transformation unfolds. People may wonder why you disappeared or why you no longer respond. But let them. That curiosity is part of the magic. You owe no explanation to those who didn't honor your presence when they had it. Your silence speaks volumes. It says, I no longer participate in my own pain. I no longer justify my worth. I no longer argue with those determined to misunderstand me. That is self-respect. That is emotional intelligence. That is divine maturity. Once you experience this kind of peace, you'll never trade it for the fleeting satisfaction of saying, just one last thing. The next time someone tries to provoke you, remind yourself, silence is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is strength under perfect control. It is your soul saying, I've evolved. Walk away quietly. And watch how the universe rewards your discipline, not with revenge, but with inner freedom. Number 2, energy speaks louder than words. There's a universal language more powerful than speech, more undeniable than logic, and far more unforgettable than explanation. It's the language of energy, and it communicates louder than any words ever could. When you pull away from someone, there's no need for slammed doors, long messages, or grand announcements. Your energy does all the talking, and believe me, it says everything that matters. When you withdraw your presence, attention, and emotional investment, they feel it, not just on the surface, but deep in their spirit. Humans are energy-sensitive beings. Even those who act indifferent can sense the shift. That's why you don't always need to explain yourself. Your vibe says it all. You can sit in a room, say nothing, yet your aura makes your stance clear, aligned, withdrawn, or done. Energy carries your intentions, pain, growth, and boundaries. Others feel it, even when they can't explain why something feels different. When you quietly step back from someone who took you for granted, they feel it in the stillness, the emptiness, and the echo of your absence. You don't speak, but the shift in energy communicates a truth they can't ignore. You are no longer available in the same way. Energy is never neutral. It either nourishes you or drains you. The moment you stop offering it to those who misuse it, they notice. Oh, they notice. They may pretend they don't, act unbothered, but inside, your detachment hits harder than any confrontation ever could. Words can be debated, denied, or dismissed, but energy cannot be faked. You can't ignore it, erase it, or hide from it. That's why someone might say they love you, yet their energy feels distant, and why another person may say nothing at all, yet you feel their care in every small gesture. Energy doesn't lie. When you start prioritizing how you feel over what people say, your life begins to transform. Sweet words lose their power, and energetic consistency becomes your compass. You stop offering second chances to those who drain your light and start protecting your aura. It's sacred, and you treat it that way. You begin noticing who leaves you exhausted, insecure, or confused, and who leaves you calm, seen, and empowered. That is energy. That is what you learn to trust. Reclaiming your energy from those who used it without giving back creates a noticeable void in their lives. They may not name it, but they feel it. Suddenly, they realize it wasn't about what you did for them. It was the presence you brought. And without it, life feels colder, dimmer, emptier. That power was always yours. You just may have forgotten. Perhaps you spent too long giving, explaining, fixing, and hoping they'd recognize your worth. But now, you move differently. You no longer fight to prove yourself. You shift your energy. And that shift speaks volumes. I'm done. I've grown. I deserve more. Those aligned with your spirit rise to match it, while those who aren't simply fade, not because you push them away, but because they no longer resonate with your vibration. Healing and evolution don't always require burning bridges. You elevate your frequency and watch everything not meant for you fall away. Your energy attracts, responds, and creates differently. Protecting it isn't selfish, it's survival. So stop worrying about saying the perfect words, chasing closure, or convincing those who already know your value but chose to ignore it. Shift your energy, move quietly, and let the vibration you hold speak for itself. Those who truly see you need no explanation. Those who lost access to your presence will feel the weight of it, whether they admit it or not. Energy never lies, and your absence says what words never could. Number 3, closure is an inside job. It's not something anyone else can give you. The moment you understand this, you reclaim your emotional freedom. Society tells us healing needs a final conversation, an apology, or a clear explanation from the one who hurt us. But waiting for closure from the person who caused the wound is like expecting the knife that cut you to heal you. Real closure comes from your choice to move forward without them. It's a sacred act of peace, where understanding why they did what they did becomes irrelevant. Because you're calm and well, being matter more than answers. In that moment, you stop seeking clarity from someone who never offered consistency, and you take back your power. You stop seeking validation from those who never truly saw you. You stop waiting for a moment that may never come. Some people who hurt you will never admit they were wrong. Sometimes they'll rewrite history to suit their comfort, leaving you with fragments of a story that never got its proper ending. Here's the truth. You don't need a perfect ending to begin again. You don't need their apology to set yourself free. You don't need to hear, "I'm sorry," to forgive. And you don't need their understanding to reclaim your peace. Closure happens when you refuse to let the past dictate your present. It begins when you stop replaying betrayal, abandonment, lies, and disappointment, and start rewriting your story from a place of strength. You tell yourself, "I didn't deserve that, but I survived it. I may not know why it happened, but I know what I learned. And I refuse to stay stuck in a chapter that no longer reflects who I am becoming." That is closure. It's deciding, without their help, to close the door, seal the wound, and move forward, heavier with wisdom, but lighter in spirit. The hard reality is some people will never give you the closure you think you need, because they cannot even face the truth of what they did. Their ego blocks it. Their immaturity prevents it. Their guilt makes them avoid it. Waiting for them to grow into the version you hoped for only keeps you trapped in emotional limbo. But you have a choice. You can create your own closure. You can write your own ending. You can decide that this painful experience was part of your journey, not the end of it. In doing so, you become your own healer, your own savior, your own source of peace. You stop looking outside for what can only be found within. You cry the tears. You feel the hurt. You scream if you need to. Then you breathe. Center yourself and look in the mirror, saying, "I deserve better, and I give myself permission to move on." That's the moment you shift. That's when the chains break. Closure isn't about forgetting. It's about refusing to let the past control you any longer. It's about choosing to live, love, and grow even without fairness, justice, or resolution. Some endings won't make sense. Some people will never change. But your life doesn't have to wait for them. You close the chapter, and even if they never read the book, you heal on your own terms, in your own time, through your own strength. And when you do, something beautiful happens. You stop looking backward and start becoming someone you're proud of, not because of what you lost, but because of how you rose. Not because they said sorry, but because you said, "I'm done." True closure is a declaration to the universe. You are no longer a hostage to what broke you. You are free, not because they freed you, but because you chose yourself. That quiet, unseen choice is one of the most powerful acts of healing you can ever make. Number 4, protect your peace. It's sacred because it truly is. Your peace is the foundation of your clarity, the anchor of your soul, and the truest measure of how deeply you've learned to love and respect yourself in a world that constantly tries to drag you into chaos, comparison, drama, and noise. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone has earned the right to enter your energy, influence your thoughts, sway your mood, or shift your vibration. Your peace is not a public space, it's a sacred temple. Only those who approach with honor, honesty, and pure intentions belong within its gates. Every time you allow disrespect, entertain negativity, gossip, or toxic behavior, or overextend yourself to please others at the expense of your sanity, you trade pieces of your peace for temporary comfort or false connection. And that price is far too high. Protecting your peace means being intentional about what you let into your space, who you allow to speak into your life, what you consume, what you respond to, and what you walk away from. It's about setting boundaries without guilt, saying no without explanation, detaching from draining conversations, and releasing relationships that no longer align with your growth. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your silence. your distance, or your choice to step away from what is loud but lifeless. Those who genuinely value you will understand. Those who don't were never meant to stay. At some point, you realize that your mental clarity, emotional balance, and spiritual alignment are non-negotiable. They determine whether you react or reflect, dwell in chaos or embrace calm, survive or expand. Protecting your peace means no longer engaging in arguments just to prove a point. It means not responding to low vibration messages and not justifying your boundaries to those who once thrived on your lack of them. Protecting your peace also means safeguarding your time, because time is energy. Who or what you give it to shapes your reality. Be slow to invite, quick to observe, and fearless in retreat. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your transformation. Some connections are simply lessons, showing you how deeply you need to guard your peace next time. You don't need to respond to every challenge, fix every misunderstanding, or explain yourself to those determined to misinterpret you. The more you grow, the quieter you become, not because you have less to say, but because you understand that peace is louder than noise, stronger than validation, and more valuable than attention. By protecting your peace, you also protect your purpose. You keep your heart soft but guarded. You stay open to joy, focus, and real love, but closed to drama, distraction, and desperation. Walking away isn't cold, it's clarity. Clarity about what you're building, what you're healing from, and what you refuse to carry any longer. And sometimes, protecting your peace means being misunderstood, seen as distant or different, and that's okay. You weren't born to be accessible to everyone. You were born to rise. And rising requires space, silence, alignment, and the courage to say, "This is not for me." And you walk away without guilt or second guessing. When you treat your peace as sacred, you attract only what aligns with your worth. You create a life that flows instead of fights. You rise from survival to sovereignty. You become untouchable, not because life stops testing you, but because you no longer give your power to what doesn't deserve it. Peace becomes your power, your compass, your superpower in a world addicted to reaction. Protect it daily, fiercely, and unapologetically. Build routines that recharge you. Surround yourself with people who uplift you. Speak words that inspire you. Feed your mind with thoughts that fuel your growth. Step away from anything that dims your light. Not every battle is yours to fight. Sometimes, the most powerful move is to simply let go and protect your peace as if your future depends on it, because it does. Number 5, your response is your power. One of the greatest truths in your journey of healing, growth, and self-mastery is this. In a world where so many are ruled by impulse, ego, and emotional reactivity, the ability to pause, observe, and choose your response is a superpower that elevates every area of your life. This isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending life doesn't affect you. It's about rising above chaos, separating the moment from your identity, and reclaiming control over your energy and your story. When someone disrespects, lies, betrays, or provokes you, remember, your response is not for them, it's for you. It's your chance to show yourself that you are no longer controlled by your wounds, your past, or anyone else's behavior. Staying calm in conflict, choosing silence over yelling, walking away instead of chasing attention, this is not weakness. It's wisdom. You're declaring, "I am no longer available for chaos." Your peace, growth, and emotional maturity matter more than proving a point or being understood by someone who isn't capable of understanding you. Anyone can react. Anyone can lash out. That takes no discipline. But to respond with intention, to remain grounded while the world tries to pull you into drama, that's true power. And the best part, you get to choose it every day. You decide how you show up no matter how others behave. You choose grace over patterns that no longer serve you. The more you evolve, the more you realize that peace is not something you find, it's something you protect. How you respond is the lock that keeps it safe. You stop trying to win meaningless arguments. You stop seeking closure from people who profit from your confusion. You stop reacting to every passive, aggressive comment, manipulative tactic, or disrespectful tone. You understand that silence can be louder than any scream, and indifference can speak volumes. When you stop reacting to every disturbance, you reclaim your emotional freedom. That's when the shift happens. People notice. They can no longer shake you or pull you into old games. You've elevated, and that elevation makes you untouchable. Not because life stops testing you, but because your response to it has transformed. That's the ultimate flex. You're not cold, you're in control. You're not distant, you're discerning. You're not passive. You're simply powerful enough to know that your energy is too precious to waste on anything beneath your growth. Next time someone or something tries to trigger you, pause, breathe. Remember who you are. You are no longer the version of yourself that had to defend, explain, or react out of pain. You've healed. You've grown. Now you respond not to control others, but to honor yourself. Your response is a declaration to the universe that you choose peace, clarity, and forward momentum over chaos, confusion, and emotional traps. This is how you reclaim your power, not by dominating others, but by mastering yourself. And in that mastery, you find freedom. Freedom from old cycles. Freedom from emotional exhaustion. Freedom from giving your power to those who never deserved it. Every time you respond intentionally, instead of reacting impulsively, you align with your higher self, your wiser self, your future self. The one who already knows that real power isn't loud, reactive, or impulsive. Real power is calm, clear, consistent. And that kind of energy changes everything. Let your response be your strength, your shield, your statement. Show the world that you no longer move by noise, but by purpose. Once you master your response, you master your life. Number 6. Distance is the language of healing. Distance speaks without words. It's the profound message you send when you step back, not from anger or spite, but from deep self-respect and the understanding that your soul needs space to breathe, recalibrate, and rise. When words get too loud and the chaos threatens your peace, distance becomes your sanctuary, your medicine, your boundary wrapped in silence. It's not about abandoning others. It's about returning to yourself. Creating space between you and what hurt you allows clarity, perspective, and strength to return. Healing cannot happen in the environment that broke you. It requires separation from triggers, expectations, and the toxic loops you replayed hoping for a different outcome. Distance is the quiet revolution of saying, I need to reclaim myself. In choosing it, you begin pulling your energy back from everyone and everything that misused, misunderstood, or misaligned with your growth. Often, you don't realize how much someone or something drains you until you step away and feel the weight lift. In that sacred space, you stop performing, stop proving, stop reacting. You simply exist, breathe, and remember who you were before the world tried to define you. Healing requires this stillness. It asks for space to process pain without judgment, to sit with emotions without distraction, and to rebuild your identity from the inside out, not from someone else's version of you, but from your own truth. And this kind of healing isn't always neat. It isn't always linear, but it is real and it is necessary.